the question nobody can answer. There is a question that haunts every serious football conversation, and it goes like this. What would have happened if Bo Jackson had never gotten hurt? Not what he did, what he would have done. Because what he did, in only 38 NFL games on a part-time schedule while simultaneously playing professional baseball, was already enough to make grown men lose their minds. Defensive coordinators had nightmares about him. Linebackers who tried to tackle him came away talking about it like a car accident. And the people who watched him play, even once, remember exactly where they were standing and exactly what they were thinking when it happened. Bo Jackson played less than 3 full seasons of NFL football. He never played a full season, not once. He missed entire months every year because baseball came first. And yet, despite all of that, every serious football analyst who watched him play says the same thing. He was the most physically gifted player who ever set foot on a football field. This is the story of Bo Jackson, and it is unlike any other story in the history of sport. Act 1. Where Legends Come From. Vincent Edward Jackson was born on November 30th, 1962 in Bessemer, Alabama. He was the 8th of 10 children raised by his mother Florence, who worked as a hotel maid to keep the family afloat. His father was largely absent, money was scarce, space was tight, and Bo, by his own admission, was a hellraiser. As a kid, he had a severe stutter, and the cruelty that followed him because of it built something hard inside him, a fury that had no natural outlet until sports gave him one. He was not the kid who grew up dreaming of the NFL. He was the kid who was angry at the world and happened to be built like something out of a science experiment. At McGattery High School in McCalla, Alabama, he didn't just excel at sports, he dominated every single one he touched. He was a decathlete, he threw the shot put, he ran track, he played baseball. And then there was football, where he ran for over 1,100 yards as a senior and scored 17 touchdowns in a single season. But here is the first thing that separates Bo Jackson from every other athlete in history. Baseball teams wanted him more than football teams did. The New York Yankees were so convinced of his baseball future that they drafted him in the second round in 1982. Bo turned them down to attend Auburn University, a decision that would ignite one of the most extraordinary athletic careers the world has ever seen. Act 2. The Heisman and the Choice. At Auburn, Bo Jackson did not ease his way into greatness. He exploded into it. As a running back for the Tigers, he was a force of nature that the Southeastern Conference simply had no answer for. He ran with a combination of raw power and track sprinter speed that made veteran coaches stop practice just to watch him work. He wasn't just fast, he was 227 pounds of fast, which violated every known rule about how human bodies are supposed to work. In 1985, his senior season, Jackson ran for 1,786 yards and 17 touchdowns, earning the Heisman Trophy as the best college football player in the country. He was the consensus #1 pick heading into the 1986 NFL Draft. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers made what would become one of the most catastrophic decisions in NFL Draft history. The Buccaneers selected Bo first overall. But before the draft, they had secretly flown him out for a pre-draft visit on a private jet, a violation of NCAA rules that stripped Bo of his remaining college baseball eligibility. Bo was furious. He warned them directly, "If you draft me, I will not play for you. I will play baseball instead." The Buccaneers drafted him anyway. They assumed he was bluffing. Bo was not bluffing. He signed with the Kansas City Royals baseball organization, suited up in the minor leagues, and let Tampa Bay's first overall pick expire into thin air. It was the opening statement of a man who played by nobody's rules but his own. And the NFL would eventually get Bo Jackson, but strictly on his terms. Act 3. Part-time, all-world. In 1987, the Los Angeles Raiders selected Bo Jackson in the 7th round of the NFL Draft, an absolute steal, and everyone in the building knew exactly what they were getting. The arrangement was unprecedented. Bo would play football only after the baseball season ended, joining the Raiders for the final stretch of each NFL season. No training camp, no preseason, just show up, strap on a helmet, and go. What followed was something the NFL had never seen and has never seen since. Bo Jackson was not just good when he showed up, he was extraordinary. He ran the 40-yard dash in 4.13 seconds, a number that even today would rank among the fastest ever recorded at the NFL Combine. He bench pressed 360 pounds. He had a 38-inch vertical leap. The numbers don't fully describe what you saw when you watched them, but they confirm that what you saw was real and not a hallucination. In one of his very first NFL games against the Seattle Seahawks in 1987, Bo took a handoff, hit the line, ricocheted off multiple defenders, and ran 91 yards for a touchdown. Along the way, simply running over Brian Bosworth, the Seahawks star linebacker who had publicly guaranteed he would stop him. Bo did not go around Bosworth, he ran directly through him. The moment became an instant legend. Bosworth had been one of the most hyped defensive players coming out of college. Bo made him look like a parking cone. But the Bosworth run was not even close to Bo's most iconic moment. That came on Monday Night Football, November 30th, 1987, Bo's 25th birthday, against those same Seahawks. Bo carried the ball on a sweep to the left, hit the boundary, and rather than stepping out of bounds, he ran straight up the concrete tunnel wall to avoid a tackle before stepping back onto the field. The stadium went silent for a full second before erupting. Al Michaels, calling the game, simply said, "I don't believe what I just saw." Neither did anyone else. Act 4. What greatness looks like. In the 1987 season, remember, Bo only played the final games of the year, he ran for 554 yards in just 7 games. That is a pace of over 1,100 yards for a full season, as a part-time player who had spent the previous months playing outfield for the Kansas City Royals. The following year, 1988, was the season that convinced everyone in the NFL that they were witnessing something that would never be repeated. He finished with 580 yards and 3 touchdowns in 10 games. His yards per carry average of 6.8 was extraordinary. And the way he got those yards, the vision, the burst, the acceleration that turned a 2-yard gain into a 60-yard sprint, was simply not something defenses had a framework for. Opposing coaches began designing specific game plans around stopping Bo Jackson. Not stopping the Raiders' offense, not stopping their passing game, specifically Bo Jackson. And still, it frequently didn't work. In the 1989 Pro Bowl, Bo Jackson was named the game's most valuable player after putting on a performance so dominant, including a 41-yard touchdown on the game's second play, that even his opponents on the NFC roster gave him a standing ovation. NFC players gave the AFC player a standing ovation. That is how good he was. Then came 1989, his finest NFL season. In only 11 games, Bo ran for 950 yards and 4 touchdowns. His yards per carry average of 5.9 remained among the best in the league. He was not just the most physically gifted player on the field in every game he played. He was, by most accounts, the best player, period. The Raiders were building their entire offense around the man who only showed up for half the season. And here's the context that makes all of this genuinely staggering. He was doing this while his body was carrying the accumulated wear of a full professional baseball season every single year. No full off-season recovery, no training camp conditioning, just switch sports, show up, and dominate. Bobby Beathard, one of the most respected executives in NFL history, said at the time, "If Bo Jackson had ever committed fully to football, I think we'd be talking about him the way we talk about Jim Brown, maybe better." Act 5. The play that changed everything. January 13th, 1991, an AFC divisional playoff game. The Los Angeles Raiders versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Bo Jackson takes a handoff in the first quarter, gets tackled, and as he's being brought down, his left hip is driven into the turf at an angle that no hip is designed to withstand. He gets up, he walks off the field, he stands on the sideline. It looks at first like nothing. It was everything.
The tackle caused avascular necrosis, a condition in which the blood supply to the femoral head is cut off, causing the bone to die from the inside. For a normal person, this is a devastating orthopedic injury. For a 227-pound professional athlete who relies on explosive lower body power for everything, it's career-ending. The Raiders, believing the injury was less serious than it was, released Bo Jackson during the offseason. Let that sit for a moment. The Raiders released Bo Jackson. He signed with the Kansas City Royals baseball organization, suited up in the minor leagues, and let Tampa Bay's first overall pick expire into thin air. It was the opening statement of a man who played by nobody's rules but his own. And the NFL would eventually get Bo Jackson, but strictly on his terms.
He would attempt an NFL comeback with the Kansas City Chiefs in 1991. He got into 4 games and was never the same. His final professional football game was played on October 13, 1991. He played 38 NFL games total. 38. Act 6. What we lost and what remains. Here is what 38 NFL games produced. 2,782 rushing yards, 16 touchdowns, and a yards per carry average of 5.4. A number that, if sustained over a full career, would rank among the greatest in NFL history. He was selected to the Pro Bowl in 1990. He was named to the NFL's All-Decade team for the 1980s, despite never once playing a full season. But statistics are almost beside the point when you talk about Bo Jackson, because the question that lingers, that will always linger, is what the full version of the story looks like. What if Bo had chosen football over baseball entirely? What if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hadn't poisoned the well? What if he had stayed healthy even one more year? Former Raiders head coach Mike Shanahan said it plainly. Bo Jackson was the most talented player I have ever seen in my coaching career, and I've coached some of the best who ever played the game. Former NFL running back Marcus Allen, who played alongside Bo in Los Angeles, said, "Every practice, every game, I watched him do things that I had never seen a human being do. And I've been around great players my entire life." And perhaps most tellingly, Jerry Rice, widely considered the greatest player in NFL history regardless of position, was asked in a 2019 interview who the most physically gifted athlete he ever shared a field with was. He didn't hesitate. He said Bo Jackson. The NFL has seen its share of legends. It has seen Jim Brown and Barry Sanders and Adrian Peterson and Emmitt Smith. It has seen 100-yard rushers and 2,000-yard seasons, and backs who played 15 years and rewrote the record books. None of them ever made the entire NFL stop and stare the way Bo Jackson did. Not one. 38 games. That's all we got. And it was still enough to make him unforgettable. Imagine the rest.